guys in their 40s, 50s, 60s, what I call aging athletes, guys who were once fit, strong, knew how to train in their 20s, they were dedicated, they were focused, but life got in the way and now you're in your 40s and 50s and you've lost your way. You just need a wee bit of guidance. So if you don't know me, my name is Paul Murray. I'm the founder of Primal Strength and Movement, founder of Weathered Warriors training systems for older dudes, and I specialize in programming for 40 plus generation. So guys, specifically guys who have got drive in them, still focused, but just have lost their way. I like to simplify training. I like to bring it back to what the body needs to suit our age group and build it from there, because I see the problems in the fitness industry and I see that a lot of people are training wrong because of the Instagram and TikTok influence. And for that reason, a lot of guys get injured, lose their way, lose motivation. So my system has brought back training to a way that allows men to progress, stay consistent, and achieve the goals they're after. So today's tonic system, tonic training is very simple. Some reverse lunging, bit of barbell work with rotation, some false grip, inverted rows, and then we're going to do the skill set, which is going to be the front lever regress position. So I'm pretty popular on TikTok and Instagram, not so much on here, so I'm going to focus my work more on YouTube now because I think I'm more suited for the long play versions. I've got a shoulder injury 4 weeks ago. Tomorrow I dislocated it, damaged my tendons and ligaments doing a back lever. So I'm rehabbing this shoulder. It's 4 weeks. I've got good movement in it. Still can't do a push up. Still can't do any like press movements this way. I can press 16 up to here, but 16 is push. So I'm just adapting my training to suit. I'm a big believer in guys my age, we're limited in time, we've got high levels of stress, work's got on top of us, so the more we can do training that benefits the body, the better it is for us all. And a lot of guys are struggling with time, just being dads, etc. So 30 minutes, 35 minutes is ample to get a decent workout in, and if you can find 30 minutes a day, these type of tonic training sessions are perfect. So I'm going to start doing reverse lunges, 5 each leg. Yesterday was sets of 5. Today we're going to do mostly sets of 10. So here's the thing about reverse lunge. For me, it is one of the most fundamental movements people getting older can focus on. The fitness industry talks about the squat and how important it is. And while it is, I agree, a lot of people, due to lifestyle today, struggle with the squat. I'll demonstrate this. I have 2 hip replacements, tight ankles. I struggle to get any deeper than that. Okay, there's some people with their limb length and their ankle mobility, they can sit in the squat perfect. But what do you do? What do most people do when they pick something off the floor? That's a reverse lunge. So if you can make that movement strong, then you're going to be able to have a more bulletproof body for everyday life as you get older. And you make your body strong for your 60s and 70s when you're in your 30s, 40s and 50s. And that's what I tell guys all the time. It's about understanding what you're going to need to live a quality lifestyle in your 70s and 80s and prep for it now so that you've always got that ability and you're never losing it. So we're going to do muscle up, inverted rows. So muscle up, inverted rows is false grip, pull, come into the transition, and then from there we lower it back down. Eagle grip, false grip, transition, come back straight, back in. And with this movement for me, I'm keeping the muscle up pattern ingrained while I can't do pull-ups and muscle-ups with the shoulder. And what you'll hear about me all the time when it comes to training, when they're recuperating, they're recovering from injury, it is always about maintaining the pain level below 4. I'm not a believer in you don't train because you're injured. I believe you acknowledge the injury and then you see what you can do to work around it, to keep the patterns alive. Therefore, when you do recover from the injury, you're not losing the way you would do if you stop training completely. That position there, when I bring it up too high, hurts at the moment. But I can do a regress version of it and still maintain a pain level under 4. Therefore, it's safe for me to do, and it's feeding my nervous system a message that this isn't dangerous, this won't kill me. It'll give me that strength, and through that recuperation, through that movement, and lessening the weight that goes through it, the force that goes through it, I should say, the body starts adapting. So I'm a big believer in, the way I've always said is, you don't see animals in the wild stopping moving because they're injured, because they'll die. We'll do barbell Russian twists here. So, as an ex-professional fighter and professional MMA coach, this is, for me, one of the best drills because it replicates the movements of punching and kicking, etc. with the footwork. The way I've adapted it while working rotation. And people need to understand the importance of rotation. It is, in my opinion, probably the most important movement pattern there is, because it ties in gait drilling, etc. When we walk, that's rotation. Rotation, running, kicking, throwing, everything is rotation. So when you learn rotation, anti-rotation, and you incorporate it into your training, your core stays rock solid. Solid core means that the rest of the body has permission to do things that otherwise it'd be working for stability. When you can stabilize through the core, that gives the limbs and the other limbs permission to do more things. The less stability I can create through my core, the more stability I must create through external factors, meaning that I'm rigid. Then your body won't give you the permission you're looking to do the movements. So this is the front lever drill. So I use a gymnastics Feroza pulley system here. I hold here and I pull down. That move is deceptively hard. When it comes to the front lever, this is your fulcrum point. So when I'm in the front lever position, my hands are here, weight's here, and this is the length of my lever. The engagement to lift the body into that parallel position to the floor comes from the lats and the arms. But the reality is, for most people, that's just not a possible thing to do. So what you do is you find a way to replicate the movement at a lesser level of intensity. For this, these are 2 12-kilo kettlebells. So I'm only teaching my nervous system to contract. So I do pulses so that it learns to engage through the range of movement I'll need it for. And then the last 10 seconds, I hold statically in the position I'd be holding the front lever in. Then I'm going to replicate the front lever with this. So I've got a couple of these gymnastic Ferozas pulley systems. They are just a fantastic bit of kit. I've adapted it by putting on a band. Now, where I put my butt, where I put the band, is going to determine the difficulty of this movement. This is a pretty easy one for me. Until the shoulder injury, I was able to do front levers. So now I can just hold. And instead of the fulcrum point being on my shoulders, it's not my ass. So that's where the balance point. So my lever's been shortened meaning that my body feels lighter, meaning that my arms and my lats and my nervous system aren't struggling as they would be to hold the position, meaning that I'm training my nervous system to not fear that movement. And this is what it's all about. I tell people this all the time. When you're training, what you're basically doing is training your nervous system to accept the level of intensity that you're asking of it, whether that be push yourself hard in a run, or lifting heavy weights, or stretching into your range of movement. Your nervous system just sees that all as threat. And if it doesn't like it, it's not going to grant you permission to do it. So if you just continually try to push it to do that, it's going to rebel against you like a teenager. It's going to fight against you. No, I'm not doing it, and there's nothing you can do to make me do it. But if, like a teenager, you coax it through bribes, here, what about doing this? It's a bit easier. Do that first, do that first. Slowly but surely, the nervous system goes, okay, this is what you want. I don't see it as a threat, therefore I'll give you permission to do it. And you get stronger, you get faster, you get better, whatever you're doing. It takes time though, it takes consistency, it takes patience. And that's where a lot of people today struggle. They don't want to take the time to, the time that's needed to be spent building the foundations, or I should say digging the foundations, that allows for all these movements to happen naturally. And too many of us focus on this high intensity work, which I'm not saying doesn't have a place. High intensity certainly has its place. You need to overload your body certain times, but I think there's too much of a focus on the Instagram lifestyle. People train now for likes and shares rather than performance and a healthier body. And you can see it. We're more obese, we're more stressed, more anxious, more depressed than ever before, which tells you something isn't working with the current approach. And just because the masses do it doesn't mean it's the correct way. It's that mass psychosis again. People have lost the ability to listen to their bodies, to be intuitive, and instead focus on the intellectual side of things. Oh, the scientists say this, and the latest findings said this. I've never been one for that, to be honest with you. I listen to my body. If it feels good, I do it. If it doesn't, I don't. And sometimes that comes at the expense of doing things you enjoy. For me, deadlifting was one of my favorite things to do in the world. I absolutely adored deadlifting. But unfortunately, with 2 hip replacements, the body said no, and I had to let go of it. I hated it, the fact I had to, but long term, I'm a lot healthier for it. I'm not in pain, and I'm able to find other alternative exercises that give me permission to build the muscles I'm looking to build from a deadlift, but with less risk to the body. And that's what we're after. It's just how I see training differently to others. I see it as a way to improve, not a way to validate. What's really wrecking me at the moment is my inability to do kettlebells properly. I miss kettlebell snatching. I miss clean and pressing. I miss the intensity that kettlebells deliver. Calisthenics are skill-based. They require isometric contraction, control, completely different type of exercise to kettlebells. That's why in my programming, calisthenics and kettlebells are what I mainly focus on, because they give you the best of both worlds. Like I said, gymnastic rings and a single kettlebell can deliver absolutely phenomenal results to the everyday mum and dad, aging athletes, mobility, strength, fitness, strength endurance, cardio, muscle mass. They're all available with just 2 bits of kit. Unfortunately, I think the fitness industry has blindsided so many people into believing you need the latest bit of equipment, you need this new device. This lat pull down is outdated now because the new lat pull down creates an angle at, like, half-degree points, and this enables you to. It's all bullshit. If you want to get bigger, lift more. If you want to get stronger, lift heavier. If you want to get faster, sprint more. The basics don't change for the average everyday man or woman. We're none of us are going to the Olympics. Our times or our success rate doesn't determine tenths of a second. It's, can you get out of bed pain-free? Can you do your everyday tasks without undue fatigue? Is it easier for you to do it? Are you feeling better at 50 as you did at 40? Are you looking better at 45 than you were at 35? These are the questions that the everyday mum and dad should be asking when it comes to their exercise. Because if that's your barometer of success, and you're constantly moving that barometer up, then you're succeeding. But it's too easy for Instagram to convince you there's a better way. The magpie effect, I call it. The new bright new shiny object that the latest trainer is designed and created and needs you to buy into to make him money. As I always say, but these new fads, for most people, the only pounds you lose are the ones that come out of your pocket to pay for the program. Because you allowed yourself to get into this state of mind where I'm bored of this, it's not working anymore. Deadlifts always work. Squats always work. Bench press always works. Pull-ups always work. Push-ups always work. Rows always work. When you do the work. And that's the problem. Most people don't go in with intention. When you allow yourself to get caught up in the stresses and moaning and complaints of the day, you lose the opportunity to really benefit from the training session. Your training session is a short window of time every day. Say 30 minutes to an hour. For some people, that's not even going to be, it's going to be 2-3 times a week. So what you do in that half hour, 60 minutes, is going to have a direct reflection on how you look long term. And if you're hopping between program and program, gym and gym, trainer and trainer, looking for what I call the magic banana, but then you're wasting time that could have been spent coming in with the intention of training and getting the most out of the big lifts and the movements that produce the best bang for buck. Your intention of doing what you're doing and why you're doing it has direct correlation between the results you see. I can guarantee you, the guys that you admire on TikTok, Instagram, with the great bodies, they don't come in with the idea of just moaning and complaining and giving and half-heartedly doing it. They come in with focus, with intention, with determination, and they give what they're meant to give in that half hour, 40, 50 minutes, 60, 60-minute session, and then they leave it there. and I come back and repeat that. It's 1 hour a day, like literally an hour. How many hours do you spend a day scrolling, doom scrolling that could be done walking, push-ups, pull-ups, anything like that? Most of my training for aging athletes brings in core work, whether it be through calisthenics, kettlebells, barbells, whatever. There always has to be a functional meaning to the exercise. Do you know, it's like strengthen the core, lengthen the muscles in the front, strengthen the muscles in the back for the most part, and that's going to give you a body that will last you a lifetime. And that's what we're after here. A body that lasts you a lifetime, not a body that you're disconnected with. We're blaming or hating because it's not performing the way you want it to. And I get it, that a lot of people struggle because ailments and stress and life problems always lead to reasons why you can't train the way you want to train and do what you want to do. And that impacts you, and then that is exasperated, and before you know it, you're 4 stone overweight, living in the past, dreaming of what once was, but never doing anything to change it. That's not the way we should be living. And that's not the way anyone has to live. But when you attach yourself to the identity of the injury, I can't train because I've got a sore shoulder. I can't train because I've got the knee hip replacement. I can't train, I've got fibromyalgia. I can't. You're reinforcing that in your mind. And that's connected to a feeling, which then invokes a response from the nervous system, releases chemicals in the brain which will justify that story. And the ego takes over. And the ego is only a conversation you've created in your head to keep you safe, but also keep you stuck where you are. And you've got to remove that ego. You've got to be willing to do something differently so that things change, so your life changes. And the more of us can do, every one of us is capable of this, that's the thing. Every one of us can do this. And the more of us that do it, and do this for ourselves, as a collective, we impact the energy of the collective everywhere. The more of us, when it's seen to be that obesity is an accepted state of being, and not only is it an accepted state of being, but it's actually advertised as brave and sexy and beautiful. Well, the natural nature of man to be lazy and to avoid doing things is going to lead to a society that's overweight, obese, depressed, anxious, lacking confidence, lacking self-belief, easier controlled, easier manipulated. I'm just a believer that, you know, even if what you want to do, even what you can do isn't what you want to do, you still should be doing it. It's about creating a habit. It's about allowing yourself to recognize your limitations, but then meeting them limitations with the best intention and effort you can. If what was once your 4 out of 10 is now your 10 out of 10, well then that's what you do. You do that once a week, and then you back off the level and make the rest of the exercises comfortable. So your new 4 out of 10 is where you meet yourself. Knowing that consistency and effort is going to result in you slowly but surely creeping up towards the old version of you and then surpassing them, regardless of your age or current abilities. Because once you do something once, you recognize I can do that. And you adapt, you get stronger, and it's not as big an obstacle. And you can start with these like tonic training sessions. Tonic training is great to get yourself back in there. You can see nothing I'm doing is crazy. I'm just doing basic movements, and I'm feeling these movements. Like even though I'm talking to you, I've still got my attention on where I'm pulling, when I'm moving, where I'm feeling this, because that is giving me the feedback I need to know if I'm doing it right or not. And this is literally just four sets of this. I like doing these wee tonic trainings just throughout the day, 30 minutes, 20 minutes sometimes. That's all that's needed. But when done consistently and with intention, it produces the results. And for today's life, which is drastically easier than it was 100 years ago, when you do these 30 minutes every day, you're ensuring you're at the top. If you train 30 minutes every day, you're probably in the top 10% in the world when it comes to exercise. Don't have to be Instagram famous. Don't have to do the Instagram workouts, because all you're doing is being an everyday athlete, an aging athlete, a mum and dad who just wants to, I used to coin the saying, build a bit, lose a bit, get a bit. Build more muscle, lose more fat, get more sex, because ultimately, when you're doing this 40s, that's all you really need. Do you know what I mean? You're usually most likely going to be married in a relationship. You're just going to be happy to look a bit better, feel a bit better, move a bit better. And this is a very easy, attainable level to get at. You spend a year doing this, 5 days a week, 30 minutes to an hour a day. Within a year, you're going to be a different version of yourself. That's my session done. Simple tonic session. Do a lot of more mobility and drilling later on. But as simple as that. So hopefully see you tomorrow for another tonic training session.